All Lord's blessing. Hare Krishna. Lord's blessing. Hare Krishna. Lord's blessing. All Lord's are your Sushi Guru and all Vishnu Padaya Krishna. Namaste. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Hare Krishna. Welcome. Today we are going to briefly look at this book. It's a small book. It's called the Upadesh Amrita, or the Nectar of Instruction. Everything you want to know about the Hare Krishna philosophy or the Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy is in this 11 verses. And you don't really need to know it. Go and read the other books. Everything is in this book. In a sense, if it's very difficult to read all the other books to come to understanding, you can simply read this small book of 11 verses, then you can go back to Godhead simply by following this. So, this Nectar of Instruction teaches one how to develop faith. From faith, you can go up to the level of attaining love of God. So basically, it is Rupa Goswami, who's the author, has set it up like that. Okay? The first 3 verses teaches you how to develop faith, how to protect your faith, how to enhance your faith. And then the next verses 4, 5, and 6 talks about association with devotees. How to associate, who to associate, and why we need to associate. Then text 7 talks about how to take initiation and how to come to the stage of getting rid of our misgivings and to develop taste of the Holy. And text 8 talks about firm attachment to this process. And then text 9, 10, 11 talks about bhava, the first rays of love of Godhead, and then it culminates with prema, complete love of God. Of course, talks about other things as well in between, but this is the primarily from faith to full love of God. That's what it is. So, what we are going to is look at some of the things is mind and sense control. That's one of the themes here. The attitude of a devotee, positive, negative, when such attitude should be displayed. The purpose of our movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, what are we supposed to do? The relationship between a guru and a disciple, and then association, as I mentioned previously, and the types of devotees you will meet, how to associate with them, and what are their qualifications. And finally, the Sangha with the devotees again, but this time more in terms of bhakti, in terms of devotion. Okay. So, let's look at the preface. Preface is leading you into what Prabhupada wants to discuss. So, it's good to know what is in the mood of our Acharya. So, in the very first sentence, he writes, Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. So, Srila Prabhupada is not taking any credit. That's his humility. And at the same time, he is thanking his previous predecessors or teachers. Can you turn on this light? Yeah. Noises both sides. Alright, so under Rupa Goswami's protection, supervision, generally when you let a child play, the parents are supervising, at least at a distance. But if the parents are not supervising, then the child will get into some kind of mischief or problems. And what is the supervision of Rupa Goswami? His instructions. And his instructions are conveyed nicely by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. So that is our guide. Okay? That's very important for us to know. And Rupa Goswami was one of the 6 Goswamis. If you look at the altar, there's a picture of 6 personalities, wearing very austerely. They lived austerely. And they lived by these rules that you will read in this book. And you can't imitate them, but you can follow their instructions. So that's, and remember, this book is for a devotee. One who has devotion and who is interested in developing his devotion further. For him or for her, this is a good book. Which you must have at least some faith. Otherwise, it's, it will be just another book. So the 6 Goswamis are Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Jiva Goswami. These are the 6 acharyas that we follow. Now, the song that one of our predecessor acharyas or teachers, Narottam Das Thakur, he also sings. He says, Rupa Raghunath Pade, Haribe Akuti, Kabe Hama Bhutavo se Yugala Priti. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental living affairs of Radha and Krishna. So, whatever is being given by the Goswamis can take you to the understanding of the literatures of Radha and Krishna. That means we must be guided and taught by someone who follows in their footsteps. You can't do it on your own. That's the other secret of bhakti. You cannot on your own think you can approach Krishna. You have to approach through via medium. The reason behind is to develop humility. The Lord is conquered by love and humility, not by showmanship or, if he can memorize the whole Bhagavad Gita. He's not really that. He's happy, but he's not impressed. He's more impressed if you have devotion to him. So, when we also are very eager to read Prabhupada's books, then you can understand Radha and Krishna. Okay? When you have that strong desire, I want to go home, after work, I want to go and read. I'm so interested in reading what Prabhupada has to say. When you have that kind of a desire in your heart, then you are qualified to understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. It takes a while because Radha and Krishna's pastimes are oftentimes misunderstood. People often see it as mundane. Therefore, the attraction for mundane things may also cover our real attraction for Radha and Krishna's pastime. So that is an important thing to understand. So in the beginning, we may not be at that platform, but when this strong desire to read the scriptures to understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna appears spontaneously, like even if you're doing some work and you're thinking, so nice, I want to go back and read Krishna book, like that. So if you have that desire, then if you see that developing, then yeah, then you're on the right path. All right. Among the Krishna, when he came 5,000 years ago, he did a lot of pastimes. But among them, Srila Prabhupada writes here, the most exalted of all the activities of Lord Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. There are many activities he had with different personalities. He had relationship with the sages, he had relationship with the cowherd men, the cowherd ladies, with the young maidens, the gopis, and the young boys as his friends. Even with the animals, he had relationship. Even with the trees, plants. So among all that relationship, it's the loving relationship with the cow maidens, the gopis, the maidservants. So now, one of the difficulties is for us is that how do you know how to understand a certain mood? So when Krishna told Arjuna surrender, the difficulty was how do we surrender? How's the process of surrender? And because we have ego and so on, it's very hard for us to sometimes give ourselves to someone or to work under somebody. If there's no monetary incentive, the desire to work for someone is zero. So when Krishna tells Arjuna to surrender, after Krishna left, it was difficult for many people to come to the stage of surrender. And so the Supreme Lord Krishna again came back in the mood of Srimati Radharani to teach us how to surrender. So that's what we are actually practicing in our Krishna International Society. We are trying to develop this mood, the loving mood of the cowherd damsels of Vrindavan. That's the highest surrender that you can find within our literature. Okay? Everyone surrenders and everyone can develop love of God. But within that, the people who are at the highest level of surrender are the gopis. So to teach that exalted mood, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of gopis. Therefore, Prabhupada says, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in the footsteps, one must very seriously follow the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis. So how do we follow in the footsteps of 6 Goswamis? We follow in the footsteps of
Cowherd.
Yes. But how do we follow now?
Gurus.
Yes, Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Okay. So, to practice spiritual things, Prabhupada says, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. It's very important. To get good results in spiritual life, you cannot be focused on other things. What we find in our own experience is that you cannot have too many things in your mind, otherwise you cannot achieve something properly, right? You cannot have, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do 10 different things. You cannot, probably you won't even achieve any of them. You'll try a little bit and drop out, oh no, I have to do that, right? It'll happen. Right? If somebody tells you to do one thing, you say, yes, okay, I'll do that. And another person comes and tells you, can you help me? Say, yeah, I'll help you. Then you cannot do activity A properly, nor activity B properly. Sometimes I've seen people who promise to 10 people for like festival Janmashtami is coming. So they'll say, I volunteer for this, everything. But when actual situation arises, they cannot be at every place. So they cannot really fulfill their promise completely at any one place. So if the cook says, come and cut the vegetable, they'll be cutting and halfway they stop cutting. Say, no, I promise to go the other place to decorate. So they're going to stumble on the decorate halfway. And then they say, can you put out this? No, I promise to go and buy some boga. But it happens. You'll see. It's funny, but it happens. So, in the same way, you cannot have focus on material things all our life and then say, I'll give a little bit to spiritual life. You cannot really develop very well. It's not possible. Rather, you have to focus on spiritual life activities, and then through spiritual activities, you maintain your material duties. Because matter is a subset of spirit. Okay? It's a derivative of spirit. Therefore, spiritual activities can help you in material activities. But material activities generally cannot help in your spiritual. Okay? You don't need many material things. Or in fact, you don't need any material things. But because you are a material one, you need some things. You need some things for the body and maintenance and so on. That's something that is acceptable. So we work for that. But you don't over endeavor. Okay, so that's what the point Srila Prabhupada is saying. Unless the first duty is to control the mind and senses in spiritual affairs. Because when you are involved with material things, both your mind and senses go haywire. Okay, we'll find out why later on, but for now let's continue. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. So we all know that. Right? We want to come to the temple, but then our mind tells us, no, we don't have to. We got so many things, so many wonderful things to do. And then we find that we will come once a week, and then they don't come for maybe a whole month sometimes we won't come. Then we drop by and say, I have so many things to do. Actually, because your mind and senses are not controlled. Even in material life, when you want to achieve something in your own occupation or something, you still have to control your mind and senses to achieve the goal. So the practice is the same, to control the mind and senses. But when you go for material things, it is temporary. When you go for spiritual things, then you get to have eternal benefit. So, to practice spiritual activities, one must come to the stage of goodness, mode of goodness. Mode of goodness means you do things according to scriptures in general. There may be some exceptions, but in general, the activities one performs in the mode of goodness is outlined in scriptures. What to do, how to do, so what kind of food to eat, all of those are the mode of goodness. Otherwise, if you don't know, then you do anything, you consume anything. And those activities become from the mode of passion and ignorance. For example, if you don't know that alcohol is forbidden, then you will take alcohol. Right? And when you take too much of alcohol, what happens? You lose your senses. No? When you lose your senses, you cannot make good choices. There was, I read many years ago, there was this Marine who was just coming back from his posting. So the Marine got on a cab, and then he was drunk. Because after coming back from his posting, he went to the bar, drank, he took a cab home. So when he reached home, you know, the cab driver helped him into the house, and then he went to, and then the next morning he woke up, then he was a bit more sober. He looked at his wallet, and he lost his $100 or something. He spent a lot of money, but then he found so then he thought the cab driver has taken it, but then the cab driver, when they called him, he said, you actually paid me $100 for taking you home. So it was like a big issue because, you know, who do you trust? So that's what mode of ignorance does. Mode of passion, simple example, you're always trying to do two things at a greater pace rather than thinking about it first. Right? It's more like an instinctive. So you get out in the morning, you say, I've got to go to work, I'm late now, you brush your teeth, everything, and then you rush back on the bus or you take a train or whatever. Then you find that you're not wearing your clothes. Or maybe you forgot to take your briefcase. Like that. That's more of passion. Running around too much. So, continuing, so Prabhupada says we have to come to the mode of goodness. So this book, if you follow the instructions in this book, you will, at least if you do it at the beginning, you will come to the mode of goodness. And then Prabhupada says, to make advancement, your attitude is important. Right? If you are like an I don't care attitude, then you're not going to get any results. Similarly, in school, right? You're studying, and for exam, if you have an I don't care attitude, then you don't expect good grades unless you're a genius. But most of us are not at that level. Similarly, practicing Krishna conscious things, an attitude is important. You have to have the right attitude. That I want to do this properly. That was very important. And so he emphasizes this point that if you have the right attitude, then you can control your mind and senses. And if you control your mind and senses, you become a Goswami. Not go there, Swami. You know, go Swami. Or the Swami is going somewhere. Not go Swami. It's go means senses. Swami means he is the master of senses. So go Swami. Swami by itself means controller of senses. The word Raj, Raja, king means he is also controlling his senses. So therefore, Maharaj means he's very good at controlling his senses. So in the olden days, the kings were called Maharaj because they were in control of their senses when they were administrating people on the order of the Supreme Lord. That's how they took care of their people. So they were Maharajas. But nowadays, they are just Rajas. They're just passionate. Okay, so that's a different understanding. So that is why we have to understand this nice level instruction. Rupa Goswami, by the way, have written many wonderful books. One of them is the Nectar of Devotion, which you are carrying. And then there's the Vidakta Madhava and Lalita Madhava. This plays, drama, and they talk about the intimacy of the relationship between Krishna and his cowherd damsels, as well as the queen's pastimes in the palace. So these are very interesting plays or dramas that you can read. But the main thing about this book, it's for a beginner. Okay? Anyone who's new and who's favorable, yes, they can understand this book and make the changes necessary to make the advance. So let's go to verse 1. You can follow. Vachavegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udara pasta vegam tan veganyo vishahita dhiraha sarvam abhiman prithivim sasishya. Translation: a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So basically, this is the first qualification, not just for a teacher or a guru, but it's for all practitioners. Okay? All of us, we have to come to this standard. In another sense, a devotee is supposed to be a guru. Okay? It's not that only some people can be guru. Maybe, yeah, maybe. But in general, we are all supposed to be gurus or teachers, at least Shiksha gurus. Doesn't matter, man or woman, you can be teachers. Okay? That is the point here. That we have to become first sober. What does sober mean?
Composed.
Composed.
Calm.
Calm and composed.
No brains, no nothing.
Sober.
Serious.
Huh?
Serious.
Serious. Yeah, you can say serious. Yeah.
Not reacting too much to anything.
Not reacting to too much.
Somebody says something
Yeah.
negative to you, stay calm. Okay. Whatever.
So sober is one who is balanced, who understands things in its right perspective. That's sober. And you are right, calm, peaceful, so balanced. So we all have to strive for that. Very important for our practice of Krishna consciousness. In the beginning, you'll find small things will disturb us. You'll see, even when you're young, you may have done some things that when you reflect back and say, I was a fool, right? I shouldn't have done that. But because of our emotions, because of lack of control of senses, we react. Usually we react to situations. We don't think about it first. We just react. Somebody says something, you have to say something back. So that's what this whole verse is about. Who can tolerate the urge to speak.
Should we not stand up for ourselves now?
We'll come to that. It's not that you don't stand up for yourself. You stand up for yourself right time, place, and circumstance. In general, as devotees, if people say something, you tolerate. The whole point is to not get identified with our body. So when someone says, "Oh, you look ugly," you react, or you look beautiful, you react in a different way, or when they say you're fat, or so many things. People get in us, especially children. You see that, right? They'll say, "Fat, you're ugly, you pig." So, but adults also they do it in different ways. Sober means you can tolerate because you understand who you are. But not the body. I'm a servant of Krishna. So whatever people say, that's fine. But you don't tolerate if they abuse another person. For yourself, it's okay. Yeah, maybe I am. Maybe I'm a fool. That's okay. You know, that's cultivating humility and so on. That's fine. It's not negative. It's just that you understand. Yes, it's a possibility what the person is saying. But if they blaspheme or say something nasty, then you can stand up and say, no, hang on a second. I don't mind if you say about me, myself, my person, but please don't do that. You can argue on that. So there are many things here. And then it talks about the mind's demand, which we all experience daily. Right? Mind is so forceful. You need it. No, I don't need it. No, you need it. Like, I remember one lady was telling her husband, they are living in a very nice house. So then the neighbors, they built a bigger house. So she told her husband, I want a bigger house also. And the husband said, you don't need it. We got everything. She said, no, I want a bigger house. So it's like that. The mind is demanding a lot of things. This morning we were discussing a little bit about the mind. In the hierarchy of authority, the mind is above the senses. But above the senses and the mind, above the mind is our intelligence. And above the intelligence is the soul itself. So, unless the intelligence is at a higher level than the mind can control the intelligence. So then the mind will determine what it wants. Now I enjoy this. And then the intelligence is not strong, it will say, okay, I'll tell you a plan to get it. That's what the intelligence will do. I'll do the planning. Now if the intelligence is smart, then the soul will use the intelligence to say, no, no, no. The mind will say, yes, yes, yes. Then the intelligence will say, no, this is wrong, and it will control. So the mind's demand. We have so many thoughts in our mind, always pushing. So the mind is a place where it brings in things and it rejects things. It accepts and rejects. Right? Vikalpa, sankalpa. Accepts and rejects. So today you say, oh, this is so good. I really like this. And then a few days later, say, I hate that. Sometimes you see some devotees will say, I want pakora. Every day they want pakora. After 1 week, they say, no, I can't stand it anymore.
You said the intelligence is above the mind,
Superior to the mind.
but the spirit is higher than intelligence. Where is it the distinction between the mind and the intelligence and the spirit? Because I thought intelligence is a higher form. Right? It's mind itself sometimes.
No, mind is a separate element. It's a sense also, a sense element. And intelligence is another element. It's a subtle element. Mind is subtle, and intelligence is subtle. And then above that is your false ego. It's also subtle. So therefore, you cannot see them with your gross senses. But you can understand your mind. When you are trying to do something, you have another thought process going on. Because that's where the accepting and rejecting takes place. By the mind. So sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But a sober person knows what is always good. How does he know? Because his intelligence is purified. How does the intelligence get purified? Through the process of reading the scriptures. One, associating with devotees. Two. Okay, this is how he gets his intelligence. Of course, from previous life experience also will come to play in some circumstances. Okay? And this is how the mind can demand unnecessary. and the actions of anger. Right? We all have experienced anger, one way or another, one form or another. But in general, anger is an emotion that contaminates the consciousness. When we say contaminates, means it's degrading. Okay? Therefore, as practicing devotees, we don't want to get angry. Even in the most trying of times, you have to learn to control your anger. The only time anger can be used in the service of the Lord is in protecting his devotees, or like in the case of Hanuman, he went to fight for Ram. This,
You're too cold?
no, it's the air. It's blowing on my face and affecting my breathing.
Did you get it?
Yeah, turn it off.
Okay.
It'll take a while before just hopefully it doesn't get hot. You can always turn it off. We were talking about anger and Hanuman. So Hanuman used his anger in a positive way. In general, when you're angry, you cannot use it in the right way. Because as I said, it is contaminating. Contaminates your mind, your intelligence, everything. The whole body becomes contaminated. Even your senses, everything. So anger, if you are a person who's prone to get angry all the time, what should you do? You should
Calm them.
You should calm them. I'm saying if you are a person who's prone to get angry, what should you do? Huh?
Chant.
Chanting.
Yeah, chanting is one thing.
Control.
You should go for anger management.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
learn how to control your anger.
When we are angry, because then we may do some, and then get some bad karma, right?
Yes,
Worse.
that also could be worse. You may say things that you regret. So many things. And we all have experienced that. And then after 5 years, 10 years, you think, why did I do that? Right. So, yeah. So, and even as a king, or like Arjuna, a warrior, a general in the battlefield, he also needs to know how to use his anger. You cannot go into battle without anger. To fight, you must be angry. So that's the only time you can use it positively. You cannot be sober and anyway, you know what I'm saying. In a battlefield, you cannot think, oh, I'm going to kill this guy. No, you're like, I'm killing this guy. Exactly. So therefore, you need to be angry, and then you don't have those kind of emotions that makes you compassionate. It's incompatible. But a sage or a Raja Rishi, a king who's trained, his compassion is he sometimes has to kill. Okay, to help the person. For example, someone murders somebody, right? So the king has to give the punishment, and he said, you have to be killed. Or liberating the person from the ugra karma that he has accumulated. Now, bad karma, because you do some heinous activities, so the karma that you're going to suffer in the next life, if you are not punished in this life, is terrible. So sometimes some people go through such a terrible life, and you wonder why, right? Because from previous lives, we do not know which life, but from previous lives. So therefore, the king punishes to ease their suffering in the next life. So that is being sober, understanding the situation properly and giving the punishment properly. And then the urges of the tongue. Tongue is so important for us. Otherwise, it has a tendency to want to taste anything and everything in the world. So we practice and control the tongue in a few ways. Firstly, we do it through prasadam. We take prasadam and we control the tongue. And even then, you don't be a glutton. Okay. Or you don't, in the beginning you are like that, but you will realize because your intelligence gets purified by taking prasadam. So yeah, in the beginning, yeah, that's fine. You take a lot, and then later on you will cook nice food stuff because you want to satisfy your tongue. Then later on you'll get the intention. I want to satisfy Krishna, not myself. And then you will say, no, I can't take all that. If I take too much sugar, I get this problem there. In a sense, our body is failing, so we understand we shouldn't be eating like that. In a subtle way, you realize I shouldn't be eating. You may think that is nice, oh, I like that, nice burfi stuff, but I can't take it. It's not good for me. And so you develop tolerance and austerity. So that's one way. The other way is tongue, you use it in the service of Krishna, and another way is by chanting his holy names, or leading a kirtan, or speaking about Krishna. So that's how you do it. And then there is this, according to the even Ayurveda, the tongue and your belly and your genitals are in the same line. So if you control the tongue, you can control your stomach and your genitals, because they cause a lot of problems. When you eat too much, the belly distends, and it pushes down on the nerves and so on your genitals, and then it creates problems. Right? So to control the sex urge and so on, you eat in a restrictive manner, not eat too much, particularly at the night time. And that's where it comes the food. What kind of food? Sattvic food. That means not too much spices, not too much sugar, not too much salt, all those things. Moderation. We cook for the Lord, not for ourselves. When you cook for the Lord, it must be sattvic. Oftentimes you find when you eat certain food cooked by devotees, it's sometimes too spicy. Because the devotee who's cooking only knows the taste that he or she has been brought up with. So therefore, it transforms into their cooking style. But that's not why we should be cooking. We should be cooking for the Lord. The Lord wants a movement of goodness, which means everything is in balance or moderation. Now, after that, if you want to have more chili and so on, then you keep your chili separately. And you don't have to punish other people by making it so spicy and only you can eat it. No, it shouldn't be. So this is all helping us control our senses. So when we do that properly, then we can actually become qualified to help other people. And that's becoming a guru. So the first rule is to controlling the mind and senses. In the beginning of in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes the Bhagavatam from the 6th canto, Maharaj Parikshit. He says, it's a very important question he asks. He says that a lot of people who make mistakes in their life and then they do atonement. But even after doing atonement, they go back and do the same mistakes again. And Prabhupada explains the situation is like an elephant taking a bath. If the elephant goes into the river, swims nicely, cleans his body, he comes out. The first thing he does is he takes all the mud or the sand and throws all over his body. So what is the value of the bath? Prabhupada says. So there are people like that. They do some kind of rituals to atone for their mistakes. So that Prabhupada is another example. He says thieves are like that. There are people who hear, if you steal, the police will catch you. And then they are like, oh, I better not steal. And then there are another group, well, if I get caught, then I'll go to prison. Otherwise, okay, so they go and steal even after hearing that. And then there are a third group of people who will steal even though they get caught. Right? So this is the level of consciousness actually of different individuals. And then Prabhupada is another category of people who are also think like that. That is, he gives the Christians going to church. Say they sin the whole week, and then on the weekend they go to the maybe it's a Catholic confession, right? No, so they go and then they say, "Oh, Father, I sinned." No, and then he says, he goes, Santos and all this prayers he says, and then you say, "Okay, tell me what you said," and it's confidential confession. And you say, "I did all this." So okay, I absolve you of all the sin. Now don't sin again. Then the very next day he will go back and sin again. So there is something that makes a person sin again and again, even though they want to stop such activities. Right? So what Srila Prabhupada explains is there's a root cause of just like when you cut the weed, if you just cut the top of the weed, after a while the weed grows again. And you're wondering why, I just cut it. But actually there's the root, it's still alive. So what is that thing that's still alive in our hearts? Is our desire to enjoy, independent of the Supreme Lord. And that desire must be uprooted. And the process of uprooting is Krishna conscious activities. It takes time. We shouldn't think immediately. It's like taking Tylenol for your headache and you get relief within a couple hours. It's not going to be like that. Because the root that is in our, those weeds in our heart it's been there for millions of lifetimes. Right? So I don't know how much gardening you all do, but sometimes some plants are not easy to take out. The root, it goes very deep. It's like you take the red pill or the blue pill, and I'll show you how deep the rabbit hole runs. It's like that. So our desire to enjoy separate from Krishna is very deep. So it takes time, and we have to accept that, own our problem. Say, okay, I need to do that. I need to fix myself. I have a problem, so I'll fix it. Otherwise, it's not going to be so easy. The practice itself, and this is why the attitude is important. No, the temperature drops very much. I mean, not drops. It goes up too fast. No, the hot air is up there, it comes down.
Hot air goes up, right?
Yeah, but the fan
Is
goes.
it on fan or is it up?
No, I'll turn on the AC, so don't worry.
Because
Well, as soon as I turned it off, the temperature went up
2 degrees.
2 to 3 degrees like that. So I was thinking this.
We are fighting a losing battle.
So,
Yes,
you said this is all millions of years and it's very deep. But
millions of lifetimes.
millions of lifetimes and it's desire very deep.
Yes.
But I don't feel the desire is deep now. I want to get out of this, but I feel that desire is long gone. I don't know.
Yeah, you think like that. But if I tell you, okay, quit all your job and move into the ashram, you will like give me 10 million reasons why you can't do it.
There's no place?
We can make place for you. See, that's one reason you already give. No, we have strong desires. It's like when you cook dal, when you cook beans and so on, you wash it very nicely, right? And you cook it. But as soon as you cook, there's a layer of thing floating on the top. It comes up. So when you practice Krishna consciousness, in the beginning you think, oh, I'm so good, I've given up everything. Then as you're practicing, all these desires starts coming up. You have to face them and to kick them out. So Krishna says, hey, what about this desire? You really, really want it. I'm giving you an opportunity. You want it? Let's go for it. So yeah, they will come. Don't worry. You'll have to face your demons. It's like that. So therefore, the normal atonements that they are those things like an elephant or like going to church to confess, those are not helpful actually, because they are not the atonements that can uproot such desires. So the real atonement is what Prabhupada explains, is Krishna consciousness. We need to awaken that, because our natural position is to be servants of Krishna. So that is very important for us to practice that. So how do we practice? You come to the temple, then you're practicing now. Chanting. First, we give people beads and chant. We don't immediately tell them, for regular principles, otherwise you go to hell. No, it's not like that. Please chant what you can. So some people can do maybe, because the mind is always fighting. And when you are chanting, you are making the mind calm down, and the mind doesn't want. Because for millions of years, it was your master. Now you are trying to control it, and it's rebellious, like a teenager. So it's like that. So yeah, so you chant, and then you control. So in the beginning, maybe you chant one round, and then after a while, you can do 2 rounds, then 4, then 8, then 16. You feel, and you come to the standard. You come to a level of qualification. It's like you just can't walk into a college. You have to have some level of qualification. So that's what real atonement is. And practicing Krishna consciousness is our austerity. Because we are forbidden from eating things that we normally would eat. So that's our austerity. We don't need anything extra. Just follow the regulated principles and it's austerity. So instead of eating outside or some kind of unhealthy or unhygienic food, we eat food offered to Krishna. So we do that at home, we can do that practice at home. And then we have not only just following the principle, our lifestyle changes because we change our life to be in a systematic way. We get up in the morning, chant our rounds, and we do our activities, you go to the office, you do nice work in the office, you come back, and then you continue your relationship with the voice and Krishna. So it becomes very methodical. It's not haphazard. It's not anything goes. Now it's systematic. And that's why we call it regulative or regulated. By doing that, it regulates us. Regulates to what? Regulates us to being in our original consciousness. Therefore, when you come down to that regulation, those desires that is independent of Krishna, now you know, no, these are not for me. So you reject them. You reject them in a positive way, not in a denial. There's a difference. When you deny something, you will go and do it again. You reject it because it is not, I'm not happy with that anymore. So we call that higher taste now. Now you know why we say higher taste. because you have a different hankering from your previous life. So Param Drisva Nivartate, Krishna tells us, you get a higher place. And then you can push away all those that are not beneficial to us. So, part of austerities that in the traditional way of doing austerities is practicing celibacy, doing some austerities for the Lord, mind and sense control, speaking truthfully to devotees, to anyone, not twist and make up stories, practicing renunciation, not accumulating things too much. We only take what we need, use it in the service of Krishna. So those are all renunciation. Right? When you use things in service of Krishna, it is automatically renounced. When you use it for yourself, that's not renunciation. Cleanliness, when you are practicing regulation and so on, one of the things is cleanliness. These are all austerities. Clean is difficult. People fight, I don't want to do this. The parents will tell the teenage kids, right? Clean your room, no, then you can see what the nature is, right? They want to live in a filth. Like a pig. At least the pigs are clean in a different way. And another way of performing austerity is also doing yoga asanas. All those help you to become raising your consciousness. All this. If you're clean, your consciousness naturally goes to mode of goodness. When you do yoga asanas, your prana all gets lined up, your consciousness gets clear, you will come to the mode of goodness also. When you speak truth, you are in the mode of goodness also. And your intelligence becomes purified. All these activities makes you the highest person. Piety increases. That's the traditional way if you do that. Now, in our society, Srila Prabhupada has introduced the Pancharatriki system. Okay? That means anyone the Guru can initiate and tell them to follow certain rules and regulations. Practice bhakti under the guidance of the temple authorities. Okay, so you need an authority. So who's the authority in this temple? Huh?
President.
Yes, president, temple president. She is the authority. No matter what. She tells you something, you listen, Krishna blesses you. That's the authority. Line of authority must be there. And her authority is the GBC. And the GBC's authority is Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So those are the do's. We go under them, we follow them, and then we follow our Guru. The Guru instructs us, gives us, and tells us, do this, don't do that. Okay? So part of our don't is the four regulations. Part of do's is chanting on the holy name, coming to the temple, taking darshan of the deities. If you cannot do it, at least come to the temple once a day if you can. If you cannot, then at least you all should have some webcam so people can at least see and take darshan. So things like that. And what are the other things? You cook at home, you offer. If you cannot come to the temple. It's important. If you eat outside, you're contaminating yourself. No one can save you. Understand? It's horrible what's happening out there in the restaurants. They can be a 5-star, Michelin 5-star, but they are unclean. Early this year, there was a case. I believe it was what is the subway? In the subway in Kentucky. So did I say this story? No. So what happened was the supervisor was prepping the store to open. So the shop owner had a hidden camera, just to make sure nothing goes wrong or there's some theft they can catch. So then the camera is catching, the supervisor is cleaning a place, and then they have two sinks, huge sinks for washing salad, because they have salad bar and stuff like that. So he's going around doing it, and then at one point he goes to the sink and starts urinating there. This is all caught in this, and then later on it's released by they were caught. So then when it was released on the YouTube, the health department came, shut down that store, and they had to do full hygiene kind of things. That's one thing. So you may think, wow, I'm going to Subway, they're great, they're wonderful, everything is nice and crunchy. Yeah, sure. So next time when your salad is a bit salty, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to make you understand the severity of eating outside. Make your own thing, it's easy. If you bake your bread, it's 10 minutes, your sandwich, you're happy. Offer the Krishna. But if you go buy from the store, you don't know what is there. You don't know. And another hidden camera in another diner in New York. So they were showing this. They didn't show the face of the cook, but they were showing. And what happened was one lady ordered some, I think steak or something. So then the hostess, she comes back and she said, she wants it well done, and you didn't do it well done. So the cook said,
I can't imagine what they did.
So the cook was very angry. The whole place is filthy. Actually, you can see all the grime everywhere. And so what happened is he gets angry after the hostess go. He shouts, and then the camera is showing everything. He's all the expletives, and then he smashes the thing, and then he spits on the meat, and then and then he throws it on the floor. He jumps on it. It's on the ground. He jumps. Yeah, okay, well done. Sure, well done. And then after that, the camera shows him urinating on the thing, and then he puts it on the plate, and then he rings the bell and says, "It's well done now." Yeah. So don't think that you're gonna have a 5-star hotel. Oh, don't believe it. What you don't see happens. What you see is the tip of the iceberg. So when you control your speech, I guess I can stop here and ask questions. Yes.
I have a small thing, but when you say that the entire premise of this Nectar of Instruction is based on the fact that we can control. I have control.
Well, you can learn to control this.
But the whole idea of this is that automatically gives rise to ego. Because once you say that you're in control of something, that you can control, automatically leads to ego. And ego is what has brought us back.
There's two kinds of ego. One is false ego and real ego. When you develop your real ego, you'll understand that actually whatever you're controlling, right, Rishikesh is being called help. The person who's helping you control yourself is the Supreme Master. You will understand that. So therefore, you're not the real controller.
The question is, if I'm not the real controller, I don't really need to make any effort.
No.
God decides, okay, this guy is
The Lord asks you to control the material senses.
Yeah.
Yes. But you have to show Him that you are determined to control. It's like choice is there. You can do this or you don't do that. So when you do something favorable for Krishna, that is control. Anything you do for Krishna is control. Anything you do against Krishna is you're not in control.
I just don't need to make a conscious attempt to control my senses and that. If I just follow Krishna, and automatically everything is taken care of.
Exactly. So if you, in the beginning, you have to do some conscious effort. Then when you come to a level of purification, then everything is automatically taken care of Krishna for you. That means the body doesn't bother you anymore. Because your mind is only thinking of Krishna. The senses cannot touch you anymore. The material senses. Rather, you're using the senses to please Krishna. So the whole thing, the dynamics is changed. So the end result is everything is for Krishna.
So rather than pushing, what I'm trying to say is, instead of making a kind of conscious effort, I agree with you that what I should be is,
Yes, what you should be doing is doing for Krishna all the time.
and then automatically all
But
this
to come to that taste, remember you were saying the Shakti, that taste, you have to consciously do it now. To practice. The mind is contaminated, so you have to show that conscious effort in training yourself. And then you get the blessings of the Lord to overcome those difficulties. Otherwise, you know, realistically speaking, we are not actually becoming the controllers. You know, it's the Lord's mercy that.
Exactly, that's what I'm
Yes.
That's the only thing we always, when he reads this, it
Yes.
automatically gives you that you have control this, you control that.
Yeah. That's the difference, right? Materially speaking, we think we are controlling everything, and therefore we have consequences. So what we have to start thinking is, I'm doing this for the pleasure of God. So even though it appears that you are in control, actually you are under the protection of the Lord. And therefore, He becomes pleased with the fact that you want to serve Him. Then you are the controller of Krishna, because He's coming to help you out. And when your love becomes so strong, then you are actually controlling Him, like the gopis.
That is like the topmost.
In fact, as soon as you develop love of God, that's it. You know, that's what we are aiming for. But among the people who have developed or who show love of God, the highest, you know, ontologically speaking, the highest is the gopis. So, and we are striving to be like their mood. That's what we read in the preface. The mood of the gopis, following their footsteps through the 6 Goswamis teaching. Or in this case, we follow them through Srila Prabhupada.
One thing I know it's not connected. One thing I always had a question. Now was Mirabai like sort of that kind of gopis kind of love?
Yeah, you can say Mirabai was like that, but she is exception to the rule. Because she didn't really go through like what we have to do. We have to go to the Guru, we have to follow regularly. So she's exception to the rule. Okay. She got the association of, I believe, Goswami. Yes. So you cannot compare and say, I am Mirabai, I'll stay at home and love Krishna. No, it's not going to work. Because even Krishna will show us exceptions in the universe. Because Krishna is complete, so there can be exceptions in his creation. we tend to restrict Krishna with our ruler, you know, measuring tape. But I think you can't do that. Even, you know, when Yashoda might try to tie him up, it was always short because he's infinite. In one sense, how can you tie infinite? Unless infinite allows you to tie him. So that's why we are practicing to develop by controlling how we speak, how we think, and the anger, all those things. Right? Unless you have Krishna in your mind, what will take over? If your mind has no Krishna, there's only two alternatives. Prabhupada says it's always Krishna or material nature. You got no choice because we are tatastha. We are marginal entity. Marginal means we can be attracted either way. So we are attracted by the material nature for what it can give us. So we're thinking, oh, I can be happy, but we can never be. Once we understand that, we try to go from the grasp of material nature into spiritual practices. That's what we are understanding. Alright, anything else? Alright, thank you very much. We'll meet
Tomorrow, same time.
I would prefer you all come at 7 and your dinner at 8. Is that acceptable?
Do you start?
We'll start at 7.